Hello, it's Darren here again. We're in my tool shed, and today something the RHS might ask you to do on a PCA if it's a wet day is tool sharpening. So it's a skill that you need to be aware of. Can I first of all say that I'm going to demonstrate knife sharpening this morning. There's a couple of things you need to consider when carrying a knife. First of all, it's against the law to carry a knife. I believe there's a restriction on the size of blade that you can carry. My knife, my horticultural knife, is a Tina. It's this one here. It's got a, I would say, about a 3-inch blade. And I only use this, carry this if I'm going to be working using it. Obviously, you don't carry it about your person the rest of the time. But we do need to know how to sharpen this, and I'm going to just demonstrate that now. I'm just going to change the camera angle so you can see what's what. Oops, daisy. Let's have a look at that. Not quite. Move the stone. There. There we go. Okay. So my stone is an oil stone. You can get wet stones. A wet stone you'd need to put into a bowl of water, and it would fizz for a while as the water was observed with it. This one's an oil stone, so I'm going to put a few droplets of oil on it. This is vegetable oil. Just put a few droplets of oil on it, which kind of activates the carborundum element of the stone. On a knife, you should have a natural bevel or burr where it's been sharpened in the past, and it should be relatively easy to hold that onto the stone at the angle of the burr or the bevel. The bevel is probably a better word. And then you slide it along the stone, and you can stroke it back and slide it along the stone and stroke it back. Probably do that 4 or 5 times. If it was a larger stone, you could move it like that from side to side, but basically it's your arms and not your wrists, and you're trying to maintain that angle on the stone. Now you are trying to grind the knife sharp, so don't be afraid to put some downward pressure. Steve Bradley, the guy who taught me to sharpen a knife all those decades ago at Whittle College, always pushed the blade down the stone like I'm showing you today. You can of course stroke the blade back and it will still sharpen, but the issue is with a pen knife, of course, that if the blade does shut, it can shut onto your fingers when that's happening. So Steve Bradley taught me, and I'm teaching you to do it this way. We hold it on the stone and push it down the stone like that, with some pressure, but maintaining that 20-degree angle to match the original sharpening edge of the knife. Once you've done that, you know, half a dozen times, you should then just singly strike the rear side just to remove any burrs that may occur. This is bits of metal iron filing that have gone the other way. That then is an extremely sharp knife. Something else you need to be aware of when using knives and sharp objects for pruning and such like, you can become a vector of disease and bacteria from one plant to another. So hygiene is also critical when using sharp tools like this. So secateurs and knives should be cleaned regularly with a disinfectant type stuff. Jace fluid is one that springs to mind, but there are other disinfectants are available, and that will help prevent you becoming a vector of disease spreading from one plant to another. But you may find that, in fact you definitely will find that sharp tools are always best. Obviously we need to keep our fingers away from the edges of these things. If you're doing tool sharpening, it might always be a good idea to have a first aid kit handy, but if you follow the steps that I've just shown you there, you should be able to sharpen your tools particularly well and safely.